Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, then I'm so happy to meet you. If not, then welcome back. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about why we shouldn't use the term Aspergers anymore. If you like the sounds of today's video, give it a big thumbs up. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and turn on your notifications bell and you'll get notified each time I have a new upload. I'll also leave my Instagram, TikTok and Twitter details in the description box down below. As always, feel free to comment, keep the conversation going, but of course, keep comments nice. So, let's get into it. So first of all, Asperger's syndrome is no longer part of the DSM-5, so that means it is no longer an official diagnosis. It is just autism spectrum disorder. Of course, we can't talk about Asperger's without talking about the history of it. So the term Asperger's was coined by Hans Asperger, and he was an Austrian pediatrician, and he cooperated with the Nazis, and in doing this he sent disabled children to their death. And where Asperger's came from, and this is also where high functioning and low functioning came from, which are terms we do not use anymore. We know that autism is a spectrum and that everybody on that spectrum has different support needs. But with Asperger's, he looked at autistic children and looked at it that the ones with the higher IQ were the ones he deemed worthy to live. And these were ones that weren't sent to their death. But the disabled children that were sent to their death, they were experimented on and they were starved. So this is a man who had no intention of helping us, the autistic people and the autistic community. He was not a nice person, obviously. And so moving forward within the autistic community, when you have such a negative person, why would we call ourselves after that? Because he did not have our best interests at heart. He used autistic people to experiment on, and he sent them forth to die. And there is plenty of evidence and plenty of proof and plenty of videos you will find on this topic, so I would suggest checking them out. There is also, as I mentioned already, a link with function labels. That's high functioning, low functioning, which was something that was used to describe autistic people, but we now know, as I said, that it is a spectrum. It is not a thing of, oh, you're this end, you're that end, that's it. That ain't it. It's a spectrum. Everybody's different. Everybody has different support needs. What I may need, somebody else mightn't, and what somebody else mightn't, I might. And that's how it works. It doesn't help the community. It puts a divide in the community. And I know when I was diagnosed myself, I was diagnosed when Asperger's was no longer a diagnosis, and I was told autism spectrum disorder, and I remember being told, but really it's Asperger's. And I was like, so which is it? I mean, Asperger's is no longer used, so what does that even mean? It was almost like a way of saying, oh, but it's not too bad, it's only Asperger's, which makes no sense whatsoever. We're all autistic. That is that. Now, I will say, if people wish to use Asperger's to describe themselves, if they were diagnosed with Asperger's and that's how they want to identify, then fine. I don't feel like I have the right to say don't do that, but I do feel that moving forward as a community, the correct terminology is so important, and I talk about the correct terminology so much person first language, identity first language, high functioning, low functioning labels. I talk about all of that quite a bit, and I think everybody does in the autistic community. I suppose, in conclusion, I feel that Hans Asperger segregated a group of autistic people as the ones with a higher IQ and called them, and that's where the name Asperger's comes from, and it's also where high functioning and low functioning labels come from. And I think that we can now see how harmful that is to the community. And I think we can also see that there is no benefit to us in using a term that came from a man like that, who wasn't a good person, who cooperated with the Nazis to send people to their death. Yeah, that's all I've got to say. So I don't believe that using the term Asperger's is positive in any way moving forward in the community. And as I said, it's no longer a diagnosis now anyway. Even though I still hear of people saying, oh yeah, I was diagnosed with Asperger's last year, and I'm like, what? It's no longer part of the DSM-5, so I don't know like why doctors or whatever are still using that term. But anyway, so that's kind of a little bit of a rant about Hans Asperger. But anyway, I'm coming to the end of today's video. This was a short one. If you want me to do another video on Hans Asperger, perhaps going into more detail, do let me know in the comments below. And as always, thank you for watching, and I will see you in my next video.